All right, so 2026 is already looking absolutely stacked. These are games that have been scheduled for this year and are currently expected to land in 2026. We've got big name sequels, risky new ideas, and long awaited projects that have been cooking for years. Gamers and adventurers, today we're talking about the most anticipated games of 2026. Let's get into it. 12. Crimson Desert. This is one of those games that feels like it wants to be an entire world you disappear into. It's an open-world action RPG set in a brutal medieval fantasy setting where kingdoms are constantly at war and nothing feels safe. You play as a mercenary leader trying to survive political betrayal, massive conflicts, and strange supernatural forces creeping into the world. The story leans heavily on themes of power, loyalty, and the cost of endless war. Gameplay focuses on weighty melee combat, large-scale battles, exploration, climbing, and traveling across a massive map. Combat looks grounded and physical, where timing and positioning matter more than flashy moves, making every fight feel intense and personal. 11. Ace Combat 8 Wings of Thief. Ace Combat 8 Wings of Thief is finally bringing the series back, and for fans of arcade-style flight games, this is a big deal. The game is set in the Strange Real universe once again, focusing on large-scale air wars, political tension, and the personal cost of conflict. The story usually centers on elite pilots caught in the middle of massive global conflicts, and this one looks like it's going even harder on that cinematic, almost anime-style military drama the series is known for. Gameplay is all about high-speed dogfights, missile combat, and mastering your aircraft while flying through huge, detailed environments. You'll be pulling off risky maneuvers, locking onto multiple targets, and taking down enemy squadrons while explosions are going off all around you. It's fast, intense, and very much about feeling like the most skilled pilot in the sky, which is exactly what people want from Ace Combat.
It's all over.
10. Pragmata. Pragmata is still one of the strangest and most intriguing games on this list. It's a sci-fi action game, set in a lonely, futuristic world that feels abandoned and broken. You play as an astronaut who ends up teaming up with a mysterious young girl as they try to survive and uncover what actually happened to this place. The story seems to focus on isolation, artificial intelligence, and the relationship between humans and technology. Gameplay blends third-person shooting with hacking mechanics, where you're managing enemies and systems at the same time. It's slower paced, more atmospheric, and more thoughtful than most big-budget action games, which makes it really interesting.
Okay.
9. Mouse P.I. This game looks playful at first, but underneath that cartoon style is a gritty noir detective experience. You play as a hard-boiled mouse detective in a corrupt city filled with crime, shady characters, and moral compromises. The story leans into classic detective themes like mystery, betrayal, and trying to do the right thing in a broken world. Gameplay mixes first-person shooting with exploration and investigation, letting you uncover clues while also dealing with dangerous situations. The black and white, old-school cartoon art style gives it a unique identity that instantly makes it stand out.
Well.
8. 007. First Light is trying to deliver a proper modern James Bond game that isn't just about shooting. This one focuses on Bond early in his career, before he's fully established as the legendary agent everyone knows. The story centers on espionage, global conspiracies, and Bond proving himself in dangerous situations. Gameplay mixes stealth, gunplay, gadgets, and social infiltration. Sometimes you're sneaking through secure facilities, sometimes you're blending in at high-profile events, and sometimes things go loud. The balance between style, strategy, and action is what makes this one exciting. 7. Forza Horizon 6. Forza Horizon 6 is shaping up to be one of the biggest open-world racing games of 2026. The game is expected to feature an enormous map with varied locations, seasonal changes, and tons of vehicles to collect and customize. The story isn't super deep. This is more about the experience, but you'll be participating in festivals, challenges, and races across an expansive, beautiful world. Gameplay focuses on high-speed driving, stunts, exploration, and multiplayer fun, letting you cruise freely or compete in events. The series is known for its accessibility and jaw-dropping visuals, and this entry promises even more freedom and scale than before, making it a must-play for racing fans. 6. Gears of War. E-Day. Gears of War. E-Day takes the series back to the moment everything changed. This game is set during the very first day of the Locust invasion, showing the world falling apart in real time. The story focuses on fear, confusion, and survival rather than full-scale military dominance. You see familiar characters before they become legends, struggling to protect civilians and stay alive. Gameplay sticks to the heavy, cover-based shooting Gears is known for, but the tone is darker and more emotional. The game really makes you feel the chaos, crumbling streets, panicked soldiers, and civilians running for their lives. Every fight feels desperate, and the sense of chaos makes the story hit harder. 5. Tomb Raider. Legacy of Atlantis brings Lara Croft back into full adventure mode with a focus on discovery and danger. The story revolves around the search for the lost city of Atlantis, blending ancient mythology with modern threats. You're exploring forgotten ruins, uncovering secrets that were never meant to be found, and pushing Lara to her physical and mental limits. Gameplay mixes platforming, puzzle solving, stealth, and combat, with a strong emphasis on exploration and traversal. You'll be climbing massive structures, diving underwater, and navigating deadly traps, capturing that classic Tomb Raider feeling, but on a bigger, more cinematic scale. 4. GTA 6. GTA 6 is obviously one of the biggest games ever made, and honestly, the only reason it's this low on the list is because at this point, it feels like a myth. The story takes players back to a modern Vice City-style setting, focusing on crime, ambition, and survival in a world obsessed with money, fame, and social media. You'll be playing as criminals trying to climb the ladder, pulling off heists, navigating relationships, and dealing with the chaos that comes with that lifestyle. Gameplay expands on everything the series is known for: driving, shooting, exploration, and total freedom, while pushing immersion even further. The world is built to feel alive and reactive, assuming, of course, the game actually comes out this decade.
Above your head, now!
You stay!
3. Batman. Legacy of the Dark Knight is shaping up to be a darker, more personal Batman story. This game focuses on an older, more experienced Bruce Wayne dealing with the consequences of being Batman for so long. Gotham is still dangerous, but it's changed, and so has he. The story leans into legacy, guilt, and the idea of what happens when the symbol of Batman starts to outlive the man behind it. Gameplay builds on the familiar Arkham-style foundation, with free-flow combat, stealth takedowns, detective work, and gadget-heavy encounters. You'll still be stalking enemies from the shadows, solving crimes, and gliding across Gotham, but with a heavier tone that reflects a more worn-down Dark Knight.
I'm Batman.
2. Marvel's Wolverine is one of the most anticipated superhero games in years, and it's easy to see why. This is a gritty, story-driven action game that puts you directly in the claws of Logan. The story is expected to focus on Wolverine's violent past, his inner struggle, and the people he's hurt along the way. You're not playing a clean superhero here. You're playing someone who heals fast, hits hard, and leaves destruction behind. Gameplay is built around brutal, close-quarters combat, with fast slashes, heavy hits, and environmental destruction. Wolverine's healing factor encourages aggressive play, making fights feel raw and intense. 1. Resident Evil 9 sits at the top because it represents where survival horror could be heading next. The story is expected to deal with the long-term fallout of past bioweapon outbreaks, focusing on personal survival rather than just global threats. It's about the consequences of everything that's happened so far finally catching up. Gameplay blends classic survival horror, limited resources, puzzle solving, and constant tension, with modern mechanics that keep things fluid and intense. You're exploring terrifying locations, managing inventory, and making split-second decisions about whether to fight or run. It's the kind of horror that builds slowly, sticks with you, and doesn't let go.
Me? Never.
And yeah, if even most of these games hit the way they're supposed to, 2026 is going to be one of those years people look back on and say, yeah, gaming was kind of insane back then. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already to not miss our next video because we've got a lot in store this year. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace out.